Hello, prosperous projectors and all other types who might be watching this video if I decide to upload it onto YouTube. So I woke up this morning and I had a message from Anna in our group, and she had watched one of the gratitude rituals that I had uploaded onto YouTube. And this got me thinking, maybe it's time to launch the gratitude rituals in our group. It's 21 days of focused gratitude practice. There are different activities to do each day. There are PDFs to follow along. It's something I launched in the Mindset Alchemy group. And I want to tell you my journey with gratitude and how it actually has transformed my life and how it's become so embedded in my life. I don't even realize that I'm living it. I'm actually often in a state of appreciation and gratitude. It's become wired into my nervous system. And this is part of my process and practice in anything that I do. As an educator and a teacher, my philosophy is mastery. I always take a mastery approach with whatever I'm doing. And I've come up with what I call the 5 E's of 5D. And you know, the 5D consciousness, right? So living at an elevated state of consciousness, a state where you are actually able to co-create with precision and with sort of, the word I'm looking for is deliberately. So in order to really get to master anything, we have to go through a set of steps. As someone with the integration channel, and channel 5710 is my only definition. My whole life is about integration. My whole life's about processing, taking time to develop and integrate ideas, new ways of being, all of that. And gratitude came to me. Oh, the 5 E's of 5D. Sorry, I'll tell you that. So my process is this: you embed. So you learn a new knowledge, you learn new skill, and you take time to embed that. That comes through repetition, that comes through time. Embed, embody, because once you've embedded something, once it's become natural, and I always talk about unconscious competence. So when we learn something new, we learn it's conscious incompetence. We don't know what we don't know. And then we move up the scale to conscious competence. So that's when we're thinking about what we're doing. So we might be learning a new skill, and we're driving. When you're driving, you're thinking about putting your hand on the gas and moving the clutch and all the gear stick and all the things you've got to do, moving the window. You're consciously thinking about all of the steps that you have to take. And that is the case with anything, whether you're learning gratitude, whether you're rewiring your subconscious mind, whether you're creating a new set of affirmations and a new identity to match the soul direction that your heart is taking you in, so that you can actually step into the vision of who it is that you want to be, how you want to serve. So these things take time to embed. To become a projector soulpreneur who works 20 hours a week, who makes £1 million, who, you know, all these things actually requires a multitude of getting your subconscious on the right track, getting your conscious mind and your behaviors in the right track, getting your emotional body on the right track. So everything has to be aligned, right? So basically, to be a frequency master and be a co-creator and to actually bring visions into fruition and live a life that you actually want to live, you have to develop a set of core skills and understand epigenetics, understand how you operate as a frequency master, as an aligned and empowered projector. So let's go back. Embed, embody. So the next step for anything, and I'm a 1 line. So I'm a 1 line with the integration circuit, 1-3 as well. So and my profile, which we'll talk more about on Monday, is 54. My brand sphere in Gene Keys is 54-1. My conscious sun is 54. My incarnation cross is 5710. Is the right angle cross of penetration 4. So you can see how you can actually observe how I have aligned with all of these elements of my design and how I operate. But the thing is, embodiment comes next. there's one thing intellectually going around saying, I'm so happy, I'm so grateful, blah, blah, blah. But if you're not embodying the appreciation, if you're not emotionally calibrating to your G center, you're not attracting those opportunities to truly, to see a shift from the practice, to see a shift in your perception of the world, to see a shift in how you operate in life and how life responds to you. So embed, embody. It means become gratitude, become appreciation, become celebration, make it second nature. Like wake up in the morning and be grateful. Like honestly, that is what happened for me. And I have my Mercury gate is 10.4. And the lower expression of that gate can be codependency, can be blaming, can be like blaming others and not being responsible for your own life. And to some extent, even though I've always been self-directed, I've always been somebody who believes that you have commitment in life and you're determined. And again, that comes in my chart. You see that in the gate 9, you see that in my Jupiter. With this focus and this drive of 54, you know, I have committed to my career in the past and my convictions and things that but there were conditioning there, and there were things like, you know, being really angry and being really into social justice and just channeling the energy in the wrong way, living in social housing, like growing up in poverty and living in social housing and having a victim mindset about what was possible for me, until I realized I was able to transform my external reality, to realize that I didn't have to work in education and work 70, 80 hours a week. I could actually take my knowledge and take my passion and take my energy, vitality, and create something for myself in a way that I wanted to live. So I was locked in a belief that I was stuck in my social housing, because how would I ever get anything else? Limitation. Oh, I'm stuck in my career because it's all I can ever do. I've got my monthly salary. It's safe. I was locked in safety and security. But when I evolved in consciousness, I realized I don't have to. I can co-create. I have a choice. And so moving from that lower expression of victimhood from the 10 and being responsible for my co-creative experience and knowing that I can pour love into that and it's my choice, I actually created a massive transformation in my life. And it all began with gratitude. So I'll tell you, but I'll get onto that in a sec. So embed, embody. So you embody it, you start to live it. The final stage of the learning mastery is unconscious competence. So it's where you actually just live it and you be it. You don't even have to think about doing gratitude. Embed, embody, elevate. So after you embed a new skill, a new mindset, a new behavior, a new pattern, you elevate. Things change. As your internal world recalibrates to this new way of being and this new state of being, you start to see a change in your external reality. People behave differently towards you. Opportunities flow to you. You're magnetic because you're joyful, you're happy, you're excited, and you don't have to be like that all the time. But it's your standard, like and your perception of life is shifted. Like you see the possibility and the opportunity in situations rather than feeling bogged down by it or destroyed, distraught, victimized, you know. So, and actually we all know this. We all know that the more you are grateful for what you already have, the more you actually have to be grateful for. So on one level, it's a mindset shift. On another level, it's actually a universal law. There is energetics encoded in this simplicity and this practice. And that's what I want to teach, because I am a frequency master. I am somebody who deeply understands the universal laws, and I am passionate about supporting others to live that, both whether it's in my free content or whether it's in my programs, my mentorship, and how I support people to become empowered, to take their power and co-create with vitality and passion and creative expression, you know. So embed, embody, elevate, evolve. The evolution comes as you become as you shift, like you evolve and you change and you transmute and you evolve into something else, and then more stuff comes for you to do, and then expand. That's where the expansion comes. So when we evolve and we've actually shifted on a cellular level, the expansion, the more money, the love, the life where you don't wake up with an alarm in the morning, the creative ideas, the being able to just walk through life in peace in your body and inner peace in your mind, and knowing trust and faith, and knowing that you can, you can receive, you can open up your receiving channels. So there's so many ways, so many levels to this. Anyway, let's get on to how did I even begin with gratitude. So I was leading a school. I was deputy head and consultant of a school that was failing by Ofsted, and I came in to implement, identify and diagnose what needed to happen. So I implemented a strategy, I delivered the strategy, they got good. I transformed the culture of learning in the school. I transformed teaching practice. I created a curriculum from year 1 all the way to year 11, so that it was connected, interlinked, and that you guys don't need to worry about all of that. But that gave me deep pleasure and satisfaction in my life. It was my genius, But I evolved, and as I led the school, one of the things that I implemented immediately as a leader, because the school had a really bad attitude, like the staff, the leadership before, and this is so in my gene keys, the leadership were controlling, they were micromanaging, there was no creative expression, there was no love, and there was no freedom, and there was no self-governance and understanding of having heterarchy, where you have an organization where people are inspired to be responsible, to be trusted to do their expertise and their genius and whatever. And yeah, it was a very oppressive environment. So I wanted to shift that. That was number one. Number two, they were, deeply, the energetics there were deeply dark, and there was a lot of victimhood, And so the first thing I wanted to do was create an energy of gratitude. And so I called it the attitude of gratitude, where people actually just needed to, the kids were involved as well, staff, like, let's appreciate each other. There was no praise, there was no celebration, So that's where I actually first was guided to use gratitude. And it was as much for them as it was for me, which is the case for everything I've learned in life. When I'm guided to learn something or to implement, it's always because I need to do it myself. I need to embody it. So that's where it started. And then I had my awakening, and I actually left the school and ended up in Thailand. And after deep trauma, having deep post-traumatic stress, having burnout, having, being a projector and working hard too long, and all these things, and living completely out of alignment and out of congruence with my whole self. And I got to Thailand, had loads of Reiki healing and other healings, met a shaman, and awakened. Like this, my consciousness just erupted into. I went from like seeing reality in one way, and then suddenly shifting into what is possible. Like my whole world changed. And knowing that I moved from sort of the idea that I didn't have any responsibility. It's not true. That's not true. But I moved from thinking that I couldn't change my life and feeling very broken, to moving into the co-creative energy and understanding, like activating that. So long story short, I developed a gratitude practice, and I began to listen to 𝗵𝗃 Hicks and shift my mindset and like learn about energetics, learn about the mental body. I, over 4 years, have learned deeply about energetics on multiple levels, penetration, right? My incarnation cross is going deep. My 1 line's going deep. My 3 line's going to experiment. So I understand the art of conscious creation on multiple levels. But it begins with a decision to work on one thing. And that one thing is choosing to celebrate life, choosing to appreciate what you have now. And I've had nothing. Like I've gone from 0 and having nothing. gave away everything. So I had to restart my life from scratch. And that's part of the fun. So I say all of that to say that a lot of projectors, I don't think this is actually just for projectors, because I know it's not. It's a universal law. But let's focus on the group. And the projectors need to develop an attitude of gratitude if they are living in lives that they don't want to live, because it begins with the mental body. It begins with shifting yourself out of bitterness. And that's only one part of it. You know, you've got to do the rest. But you know, that's one bit that needs to be embodied, so you can elevate, so you can expand. Gratitude has shifted so much for me in my whole life. It opens you up to creative possibilities. It opens you up to noticing what you do have. There's so much research on your mental health and how it actually helps you. So long story short, Anna said she had watched the video and it made me think, hey, why don't I launch the 21 days of gratitude? So what I actually did this back in 2021 in my Mindset Alchemy group, when I was leading Mindset Alchemy, when that was my thing. And I have like beautiful PDFs that go with it. The second time I launched it, I was going to do it over 21 weeks, because actually, you know, it takes time to embed. Like I thought, oh, we'll do one of the focuses each week. But for this group, I think it would be cool to do 21 days. And what would that involve? What that would involve would be you getting your own book. So you get a blank notebook, make it pretty, make it your gratitude rituals book. And you don't have to download the PDFs. If you want to, you can, and file them nicely. Or you just look at them online and work through the activities. I will give a short video daily to give context. It would be beautiful if you came on live. If you can't, you can't. But joining in the replays and joining in the conversation around it and what's happening for you and your shares would be fueling. So that would be the reciprocity. That would be the magic. It's mostly to do with gratitude, but it really is around focusing your attention on what you want to create in your life as well. So it's quite a comprehensive little course on energetics, on quantum mechanics, on the nature of creativity, on the universal laws, on not just the ritual itself, but why and how it works if you commit. And one of my mottos is learn, commit, do, which is actually what I created in that school. That came through me. Learn, commit, do, the masculine side of things. But then as I evolved in my projector nature and I started to live my life by living in just flow, I evolved it to learn, commit, do, learn, commit, be. So it's the balance of yin and yang that we need to unify in our lives to create inspired ideas, to not create inspired ideas, to act on inspired ideas, have the drive, the motivation, and the commitment to take aligned actions so that we can co-create our lives and bring our visions into fruition. So if you are interested in doing the 21 days of gratitude, we will do it for the whole month of August. We'll do it from the 1st of August till the 21st of August. Let me know in the comments if this is something you're interested in participating in, and we will do it. I'll put everything in the guide section, so it's something you can go back to. It's something you can go and do in your own space and time. I think it would be cool. All right, lots of love. Bye.